learned that saying no meant losing love. So now you say yes to everything. You say yes to plans you don't want to go to. You say yes to people that drain you. Because deep down you're scared that if you finally say no to something, they'll stop choosing you. They'll stop wanting you. You might even lose them. If you don't know me, guys, my name is Nikki. I'm your older sister, everything self-development, glowing up, brown girl talks. I post twice on this YouTube channel, so if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. In this video, I really wanted to talk about boundaries. I think that boundaries are spoken about so much in self-development. Like there's so many like therapists and TikToks and like YouTube videos about it. But I think everyone used to always tell me like, oh my gosh, like you should learn how to set boundaries. Boundaries are important and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't think until the bright age of 25, aka now, I actually started to understand what a boundary is and why I have a problem setting them. I don't even think I clocked that I had problems setting them until this age. So I'm gonna deep dive into boundaries and all the different areas of your life that this is actually negatively affecting you, even though you don't think you have a problem, and how this is going to completely change your life. Your life is going to become so much more fulfilling and for you once you start practicing these little things and like having a mindset shift. So chapter number 1 is my wake up moment. I don't even think I realized that I had a problem with boundaries. I started to notice that I would get annoyed at people and I would resent things that people would do, or I would just like have this like and never say something towards people because they would do things to me and I would never speak up about it. I think growing up in a Desi household, we just don't have boundaries. My parents, I was literally just making a TikTok the other day about how my parents found my passwords, would go through my stuff all the time. I did not have privacy. I did not have anything. And we are just brought up that like boundaries, saying how you feel, like keeping a distance from people. It's like you're being cold, or like you're not being like one of us, or like we don't approve of it. Like boundaries are bad. Like, we're all united and like we're all just kind of like intermeshed. And I get it. Like I think that when you're Desi, like, you know, you have close relationships and like we stretch a lot for other people. We do a lot for other people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with those values that we have. But I do think that like us growing up second generation or like in this world, we can start to like, do it, overextend ourselves for people, or maybe get hurt by people and not say things. And then it starts to negatively affect us in a lot of areas of our life. For example, if a friend's not showing up for you, or a friend's constantly late and you're never saying anything, but every single time that they're late, and maybe like one day they're late to like your birthday or like a really special event, you're getting more and more irritated with this person, and you're starting to feel like this person doesn't value your time, and you just never say something, and then you're just like making side comments, you're just irritated with them, or every single time like you're rolling your eyes and you built a resentment, and maybe you just kind of want to distance yourself from them as a friend. Why did this get to this place? It's because you were not able to set a boundary and tell them how you feel a lot of time. Recently, I like went on a date with somebody a couple weeks ago, and this guy was great, whatever, he was amazing. And then it comes time for the second date. He asked me to go on a second date. I'm like, yeah, down. The day before the date, he kind of started to become really quiet, and it was weird, and I was getting a little anxious because it was like the end of the night. Like, it was 9 o'clock the night before the date, the eve of the date. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting a little annoyed because like I like to plan my day. I'm a very planned person from morning to night. I have Pilates, I have this, I have content to do, I have filming to do, places to go at night. And I was like, he hasn't told me the time that we were supposed to meet up. And I always work backwards. So if I know like I need to be ready at 9, then I know I need to start getting ready at 7 so that I have an hour to film before I go out. I needed to know my time, and that's just like who I am as a person. Knowing times, being planned is one of my values. And I decided, you know what? At first I was gonna sit there and just be like the cool girl and just like wait for him to text me, but like it was already 9 o'clock at night, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to like go to bed if I don't have my next day like, somewhat roughly planned out. I don't like that feeling. So I said to myself, you know what, Neetha, you don't have to be the cool girl. You can communicate with somebody and tell them like this is just like something that I need. Kind of like communicating boundaries going hand in hand. So I sent him a text and I'm just like, hi, like I really need communication, and I just like to know like when we're going out in advance so I can plan my day, right? That's me kind of like setting a boundary. I don't do like last minute dates. I don't do you telling me day of what time we're going. I need communication. It's kind of like me setting the tone. And he replied and canceled the date because apparently he just like had a lot of work stuff going on. That's why he wasn't replying to me, and he just didn't have the capacity. Whatever. Side note, it's another video. But I, in that moment, after I sent that text and I was waiting for him to respond, I was so anxious. And I was like, no, I shouldn't have said that. I'm calling my friend. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like, it's too much. Like, I feel like I'm too much. I feel like I'm being needy. I feel like I'm being this. My friends were literally telling me, like, you're just setting a little bit of a boundary that I need to know what time we're going the night before the date. That's not a big deal. Why do you get so anxious when you set a boundary? And that's kind of like where this whole thing came from for me. That takes me to chapter number 2, which is the childhood wounds. So for many brown girls, especially immigrant families, We are taught that respect means obedience and love means sacrifice. So there's no such thing as boundaries. Like, it's like you do and you give, and there's no boundaries. Sacrificing and keeping your mouth shut, being nice is love. We saw our moms do everything for everyone, just never say no to people. And we thought that that's like what makes you a good woman. That's what makes you a good kid. That's what makes you a good friend. But setting boundaries is actually the most loving thing you can do, because it in turn results in you not having resentment and hate towards people, or you not being annoyed with people the rest of your life. And you know what happens when you're annoyed and you have resentment to people and you hold it in? You have health issues, okay? You have chronic illness. You blow up one day. So yeah, for me, it probably just started from the same idea. And like, I had this like deeper wound where it was like, if I set a boundary, the person will be mad at me. That's what I kind of want you to ask yourself if you have trouble setting boundaries. If you have trouble telling people how you feel, or telling people, I need to know this, or I need to have this, whether it's a guy, whether it's friends, ask yourself, what is my fear behind setting a boundary? And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, that fear is going to be, I am afraid of losing people. I'm afraid of losing a friendship. I don't want people to be mad at me. I don't like conflict. It's probably something like that. And so what we've learned, it's also people pleasing mixed in here, is that if I set a boundary, people get mad at me, or people leave me, or people isolate me. So what happens when you grow up like that and you've like reinforced that, literally neuroplasticity, is that now you're like, I don't want to set boundaries because I don't want to lose this person. And you're probably an anxious person. You're probably somebody who values friendships, values relationships, and really doesn't like when people are mad at them. That's like me. And so because we've learned that boundary equals person being mad, person leaving, now you don't set boundaries because we don't want conflict. That was like example number 1 of where I started to realize like, wow, me just saying something that's like pretty normal, which is a boundary, even to someone I don't even know that well, makes me so anxious and spiral completely. And like, why do I feel needy just by saying what I need, or like a normal thing? So that takes me to chapter number 3, which is why you're struggling to set boundaries. Once again, it could be the fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. It could also be something like feeling responsible for other people's emotions. So you feel like you don't want to make another person upset. I'm responsible for them now getting upset, and I don't want to be responsible for that. I don't want to be the reason that someone cried, or someone like, you know, got a little bit upset. I just don't want to like put that on other people. And another thing could be confusing people pleasing with kindness. I think this is like probably 99% of us. I'm like that too, like saying yes to things, overextending yourself, never getting mad at people, letting a lot of things go. Or your needs, for example, my need of like, I need to know what time I have to be somewhere, not being met, like letting that go, and then like being like a little bit scrambled because I don't know what time I have to be ready. People pleasing, and even just going to dinners or going to events or going to someone's birthday just because like you feel like you have to be there and you think that that's just like the nice thing to do. The truth is in this is that you're not actually bad at setting boundaries. You are just scared to lose love, to lose a relationship, or to upset somebody, because you learned that love is something that had to be earned. I used to think that like if I explained myself more or gave people more, people would finally understand me, or they would see me, or like they would just like see like, okay, I'm so nice. But all it did was drain me. In every situation I have seen that I've overextended myself, you can do it once, you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times, but eventually, girl, you're gonna be drained. You're gonna be annoyed at people for not showing up to you, but you never said anything to them, so it's also like not 100% their fault. You're gonna be annoyed that you have to keep doing something that you don't want to do. You're gonna be annoyed that this person keeps bringing up something that you don't want to talk about. You're gonna be annoyed when that guy just like treats you however he wants to treat you and doesn't care about your time, your money, your value, nothing. The people who love you don't need convincing. The people who love you will love you even if you tell them something upsets you. Even if you tell them like you sometimes need things a specific way, or you tell them that this is like hurting you. You know what I mean? As long as you're saying it in a nice and respectful way, the people that love you will stay. The people that, in fact, when you set a boundary, people will actually respect you more. I know that you don't think so because I didn't think it. In that moment, I thought that guy's just gonna think I'm needy. He's not respecting me more because I'm double texting him and saying I need to know the time. He's just thinking I'm needy. No, they will respect you and they won't fuck with you again because they know that you won't just let everything slide, and you know, like you have self-respect and like you value your time, you value what people say about you, you value your relationships, you value anything that you're putting a boundary on in your life. And that takes me to chapter number 4, which is boundaries as self-love. I think that we don't see setting a boundary as a practice of self-love at all, and I didn't even see that until now. When we think boundary, we just think upsetting other people, pushing other people away, not getting love. But setting boundaries is not about pushing other people away. It's about protecting the version of you that's finally healing. Protecting the version of you that wants to show up as the best friend, the best girlfriend, the best daughter, the best whatever to that other person. So saying no to somebody or saying that something upset you, it's actually saying yes to your peace, to your healing, to you being a better person for them. I also think that there's like a spiritual angle to this that I don't know if everyone kind of understands, but I do think that when you stop betraying yourself in the sense of like not setting boundaries, letting people walk all over you, letting friends, whatever, the universe will stop betraying you. And I know that that's like, You might be like, I don't know, but I truly think that like the universe matches your energy. The way you treat yourself is how others treat you. That's the way the universe is going to treat you. If you treat yourself like somebody who values their time, aka I set a boundary on I need to know to plan my day, or value somebody who like doesn't like to like talk about certain things, or this is just like I don't sleep around, I don't sleep with people after the first date. Those kind of boundaries with whoever in whatever situation, maybe it's with your parents, I need my alone time once a week, or like whatever the boundary is, the universe will match you because now you respect yourself, you value yourself. The universe is like, oh, okay, like we're only gonna bring energetically things around her that also involve like her respecting herself, or like we're only gonna bring people around her that also respect themselves and think like that highly of themselves. We're only gonna put her in situations where people treat her the way that she treats herself, which is with respect. I think once I started honoring my own boundaries, not chasing people, not over explaining, not compromising on everything and letting things go, even my content just like started to flow differently. Even when I stopped posting content, if you think about it, like that other people wanted, and I just like had certain boundaries with like what I talk about and what I don't. At first I was like, I'm gonna lose a lot of people. People aren't gonna like that I'm talking about this. People aren't gonna like that I'm not giving them this content. It's funny because that's what started to blow up, is the content that I wanted to do. I think opportunities started to flow for me because I was finally acting like from alignment and doing things out of alignment and true to myself and what I wanted, and not trying to do things for other people just to like not lose relationships. This takes me to chapter number 5, which is the last chapter, and this is how you were actually going to start practicing boundaries. I feel like if you clicked on this video, you're thinking of a specific situation already in your life. Like either it's your parents, that was a big one for me, or it's a man, or it's your friendships. Those are kind of like the 3. So I feel like you could apply these steps into anything. I think you'll know that you have to set a boundary in something in your life when you're getting irritated with something, when something's starting to annoy you, when you're having feelings like anxiety. I had anxiety when I didn't know the time of the day, or I've had anxiety when I have friends who time and time again show up really, really, really late. And I start to get annoyed when like I want to go and they're not here yet. You'll notice emotional turmoil because it's bothering you. Okay, that's the first signal. Something's bothering you. I want you to pause, I think, before you act on this though. Like, you know, like don't lash out in the moment, be like, why are you always late? Don't say to this guy, you're so freaking rude for not telling me the time. To your parents, you guys are crazy, always checking my stuff. Pause. Think about it. Think about like why you're actually triggered, the deeper reason of it, and what even is your boundary. You can't tell somebody your boundary and what to do if you don't even know it. Start with small no's, I think, just in life. If someone wants to split an outfit that you don't like learn to start saying no to little things. If you have like a dress that you really like and you don't want someone to borrow, but you don't want to be that friend, just say no, like, you know, not that dress. I'm just like in love with that dress and I just like don't want to like give it away right now. But any other dress you can take. Even to your parents, just like, I was gonna say knock on the door, but like that's a pretty big one in a brown household. Just like, you know, I don't want to have this dessert today. Even with food sometimes, like, you know, we'll always compromise on like what the other person wants. I don't eat seafood, but somehow I always sometimes would end up at seafood restaurants. I liked the vibe, but it's just because, oh, that's what most people eat. But once in a while, I was like, you know what? I don't want to eat that. Start with little no's. No, it's not okay when you bring my car back with no gas. Maybe it's your sibling. No, it's not okay that like when I say no, you keep wanting to like go further to like a man. No, it's not okay that you joke about a certain situation that really upsets me. Like, you know what I mean? Little things. You can start so little with literally just like, the things you eat, what you're ordering, maybe like the coffee that you're getting, or the shot that you don't want to take at the party. Number 3 is I want you to reframe the guilt as growth. You're gonna feel guilty. This is another huge thing after you set a boundary. I felt so guilty after I told that man. Even though he replied and he was apologetic, I still felt like, oh, I don't know if I should have said that. See, now he canceled the date. Now he thinks I'm needy. I shouldn't have said that. Even like the today I had to set a boundary and I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. And then no, it's not. It's growth, to be honest. Like, you're growing. The discomfort that you're feeling after you set the boundary and that awkwardness and that I don't know if I should have done that, that just means that you're growing out of an old pattern to a more healed version of you. And that's obviously going to feel uncomfortable. Anytime that you're going to set a boundary, it's going to feel uncomfortable because your old narrative that you have in your head is I set boundaries, I lose people. So now you're anxious that you're going to lose people. But time is going to show you that when you set a boundary, the people who leave were not meant for you, girly pop. If you're setting a simple boundary and that person leaves, that's not meant for you. Good riddance. But if you're setting a boundary, you're going to also learn that there are a lot of times, surprisingly, that people are going to respect the boundary. The people that are there for you, your friends, you know, will make an effort to not be late, or like certain things, like whoever it is. If the person, you also can be pleasantly surprised that people will also respect your boundary, maybe for things that you never even thought that they would. And that'll reinforce it in your brain that people can respect my boundaries. And it's okay to have boundaries. And the more and more you set a little boundary and people are okay with it, the more and more you'll learn that it's okay to set a boundary. And yeah, you might lose a couple people. It depends how big the boundary is. Some people say like, I don't drink anymore. They're on like a health journey, which I respect. And like they say that they lose a lot of friends. You not drinking is just like a new lifestyle, and maybe it's a boundary that you kind of have now, or maybe you don't like people drinking around you. And be prepared. Those people are just not aligned with you. You're going on a different frequency. You're going on a different path. Maybe you have different values in your friendships. I don't accept lying. I don't accept this. Girl, if those people leave, then that's good. Okay, that's growth. Number 4, I want you to write out your non-negotiables. This could be with a friend that you're thinking of. This could be with a man that you're thinking of. This could be with your parents. Parents is a little trickier because I don't expect them to follow them all, but you might have non-negotiables like with a guy. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, you know, I need to know what time I go on dates. I need to be called once a day. Maybe I need this. Maybe I need that. I don't want to be like pushed into doing things I don't want to do. Those could be my boundaries. Yeah, write out your non-negotiables. Maybe that's in your journals. Maybe, it doesn't have to be like all at once, but it could even be like with a specific friend. This is just going to help you with clarity, because sometimes you're going to be in situations where you don't know if I should say something or not. I don't know if this is enough. If it's one of your non-negotiables, then you know you have to set a boundary. This week, I want you to do a little homework. I want you to write out 3 things that you've been saying yes to, or you've not been setting a boundary on, that have been draining you. They could be little, they could be big, and write out what your highest self would tell yourself about that. What would the amazing version of you that's all healed tell yourself to do about that right now? And if guilt comes up, I want you to remind yourself, you are not losing love. You will not lose people that are meant for you. And you setting a boundary does not mean everybody's going to leave you and be mad at you. You do not need to earn somebody's love by just continuously saying yes. Once again, you are not too much for having needs. This is a really hard concept that I need you to get your head across. Replay that again. You are not too much for having needs. You're not selfish for protecting your peace. And start saying no to things and start setting boundaries and just watch the world work for you. I'm telling you, because I literally recently went through this. My career completely changed. It took off. I bought a home the other day. The friendships that I have are insane. I love them. So pure and like so deep. Everything is just like, you'll notice a huge change. Cheers. I'm going out for Halloween now. And then I have a flight to Costa Rica in the morning. But I had to get this message to you because I love you. Once again, I post twice a week on my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram, where I post shorter form advice, more of my life, inside scoop type of things. I'm also hosting Girls IRL events. I host these like South Asian women self-development events with me. They're super fun. They're like little parties. My next one is going to be, I think, December 13th. So keep looking in my bio for when the ticket link goes up. They usually sell out, but I would love to see you guys in person. And for now, I will see you. Bye.